Chief of Staff, Krista Shafer.
Hi,
Hi,
MVP
Krista.
Miranda. Thanks for
How
having
are
me.
you?
I'm well. We actually had 50 degrees in Buffalo today, so we have a heat wave going on.
I just turned my air conditioner on because it's super hot in here. So,
Crazy.
hello, Amy. How are you? Oh, and there's a baby. Hi, Emma.
You say hi?
Um, hello to everybody in JCI USA. We are actually going to share the screen tonight with President Justin. He is going to come on and speak a little bit about some things. So let's go ahead and bring him on real quick. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Kristen. Oh, somebody's calling him as soon as we get him.
Yeah, no worries. How's everyone doing?
Good. How are you,
Great. How are
Justin?
you?
Good. We just want to, tonight we're going to talk about travel and what it means to be in the JCs and being kind of socially responsible, especially considering the current times and the coronavirus that is going around, and wanted to just be able to discuss that and talk about how members just need to be really careful at these public gatherings and what we're getting into. What do you guys think on this?
I'm glad that we're touching base with it as an organization because I know some people are fearful, some people are making jokes about it, but in real life, it is affecting us no matter if we have it, we don't have it, it's in our area or not. So it's something that we do need to talk about.
Right. Yeah, it's serious, and the seriousness of it is that we're just being asked to limit those times that we come together in large groups, because unfortunately the virus is spread just amongst people being close together, and some people don't even know they're carrying it. And the more that we take heed and we just stay calm and stay at home and limit those interactions, the more we can get through this and in the pandemic that's currently happening. And so with chapters, you really need to take a serious look at your events that are coming up and decide if it's worth it to continue them and have them happen, or figure out alternative things that you could do to help benefit the situation. I know that someone I was talking to had mentioned about Easter egg hunts coming up, and should we do those? And honestly, I guarantee you your attendance and your turnout is going to be very low on that events, just because people are naturally going to start staying at home and kind of just fending for themselves and worrying about that. And of course, you would still have children come out and families that want to participate in these activities. But maybe there's a way to take all the work that you've been doing planning this event, and maybe you have all the resources purchased or what's going on, and maybe look at different ways of handling that. And I think it was Neil Fitzgerald that I was talking to. He talked about, maybe that means that you donate some of these things to a local community center, or a homeless shelter, and maybe look at help at putting on a blood drive, or other things that the medical industry is currently needing.
And I agree. And Miranda, I know you guys have an event coming up this weekend, and you guys are already thinking about precaution and just making sure hand washing is promoted and everything else, right?
Right.
Yeah, we did choose to keep our event going on this weekend, and unfortunately, we have had a positive case of the virus here in Hattiesburg last night, and a couple of people that are involved with them were quarantined. They have another possible case that was discovered today, but we had a huge town hall meeting today with all of the government officials, and they suggested that their suggestion is indoor events, limit them to under 250 people. So maybe don't go to church and stuff like that. And outdoor events, maybe if they're under 500 people, you should be fine. Just take the normal precautions. Maybe don't be a hugger right now. So we are doing a St. Patrick's Day event, and a lot of people have canceled but we actually made $700 in ticket sales today. So there are people still out there, and that was just today. So there are people still out there looking for things to do, and we have we've got some hand sanitizer and Clorox wipes and all of that. So we're bringing all of that, and we're just kind of encouraging people, even if we look Irish, don't kiss us, but you know.
Well,
Yeah,
you know
even
what? Go ahead, Justin.
Oh, I
Go
should
ahead.
say, even at the Nothing But Net Summit, we were, you know, it was a no hug, no handshake kind of scenario. And when we went up on the hill, that's how all the staff was handling it. That we went in and we, you know, we waved or we elbow bumped, mostly just waved at that time. And that seemed to be a good way to handle things. And again, it's just taking those precautions to make sure that you're just washing your hands and wiping down your areas, your work areas and your home and where you are, to just limit the ability to catch the virus.
It's hard for me because I'm a big hugger, so I'm like,
Right.
I want to hug, and I'm like, okay, I gotta step back. But I do carry my little hand sanitizer. And one thing I know they recommend is making sure it's over 60% with alcohol in it. And like our schools didn't have the alcohol one, so we had to supply it and to make sure that our students are doing the hand washing. There's a whole bunch of different songs that we sing now.
Right.
Get water on our hands first, then the soap, then wash it off again. So we're having like hand washing parties at school to teach the little ones how to do it.
That's awesome. No, I mean, and it's truly just about taking these precautions, not blowing things out of proportion, and just figuring out what we need to do for our own safety and the safety of others around us and our fellow members. And JCs, you know, we're here for the community and we're here to support one another so we can rise and shine and kind of be that leader to offer these opportunities to help people in the community. And coming up with ideas through that as well.
I will say that I am still taking national travel requests. So if state presidents or chapters still are looking for national officers, then we'll do it by how the situation is and also the travel and everything else. I don't want anyone to be discouraged that all of a sudden everyone's going to stop traveling and doing everything, but we're going to take precautions to make sure our team and our families and people that we are around in the community are safe.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. And you know, these are just precautions to take over the next few weeks. It's obviously it's an evolving situation, and we have no clue what's happening or where it's going to go. It could get better. It could get worse. But again, for right now, we're being advised for the next few weeks that we just have to really be careful and keep those events limited and only if they're necessary, and especially if they don't involve raising funds, then really think about not having them. But sometimes those funds are necessary to continue doing things. But it's truly just looking at the value of the outcome of that possibility and the gamble that you're taking with that. And again, yeah, like for events in the next few months, like we want our members coming up with creative ideas of how you can fly in our team members and do great visits so that we can talk one-on-one with our members and really share the JC's movement and what empowerment means and how every person has their own goals and dream in life. And we are here to help talk them through that and help build the bridge in their mind to understanding that JCs can be what helps them achieve that goal.
So I've had a few questions, and maybe we three can talk about it and brainstorm about it, about like holding chapter meetings, and if they don't want to have it out like with 30 members, what can they do, or what kind of ways can we empower them to still continue on with these different events or chapter meetings or brainstorming sessions?
I mean, for me, I would ask about the team if we'd be able to do a Zoom call or like a phone call instead of coming together to meet in person. Those are different ways that you could make these happen because it is 2020 and you are able to have those opportunities.
we could give them access to this leadership live as well to do that. And they can do it straight into their Facebook group page to where it's a private group, or they can make a private group to do a meeting.
Right.
So there are tools for us to use if chapters start wondering or getting a little, if their areas getting a little bit more tight of community, like going out and being in public, for them to still meet. So we don't want anyone to stop at their passion or their excitement for this organization.
Right. No, it's very true. I'm trying to think of different scenarios where projects or members could meet alternatively. But honestly, it's just looking through that way. It brings us back to the use of our phones, and we've become very dedicated to our social media, and just getting back to those phone calls and connecting with members, because that's the most important thing of all time. But currently now, like, this is a time an opportunity to give members a call and connect with them one-on-one and find out, how are you like handling life and getting through this situation, and what's going on with you, so that you can truly connect with those members.
And this also allows our members opportunities. I know, like, some schools are closing just for precaution areas. Some of those kids will go without food because they get their food from their lunch and their breakfast. So if chapters are thinking about ideas to make impact in their community, they can get backpacks with canned food and start collecting things, and they don't even have to like knock on the door. If you know what I mean, they could just pass out in the neighborhood and different, like,
Right.
so many opportunities for us to do with the fear of this all, and how we are stepping up, like we're being proactive instead of reactive. And
Right.
I know our members will really shine during this time.
Oh, of course. No, there are crazy opportunities to step up and shine as members right now. And we're the ones with the connections in our towns and in our businesses. We know who we can call to find out, hey, like, what if we did this thing, or what if we did that, and bring it to that table. Just like last week in Tennessee, when those tornadoes went through Tennessee, and our members immediately jumped up and started contacting our friends and family over there and saying, how can we help? What can we do? And every scenario that happens, whether it's even on an individual level where one of our loved ones passes, or we get a job, and everyone, like, we rally around and we support one another and we uplift one another, and that positivity and that bright look into our future gives us hope that life will continue on, and everything will go back as we always wanted.
Now, Miranda, you said that you guys met for your town. Did you get any recommendations from everybody meeting? What's the need since you guys?
Well, so it wasn't a JC related thing. It was a work thing. The police department had met with all the officials. It was just kind of getting us prepared for what could possibly happen, or trying to get things put into place. I'm actually really proud of our town and the things that they have, thought through and stuff, in case they do have to start shutting down the schools and things like that. So, but right now they're talking about doing online for colleges only. The health officials here are saying that most of the children under 18 are only carriers, that very few percentage of them actually get sick by it, but they do carry it. So, they're just trying to limit how many people eat lunch together. They're breaking up the lunch times and just, not make a big giant congregated space. But, they're just talking about different little things like that. But pretty much everything's gonna, the big events down here, like our parades, and we had an Irish Italian festival this weekend that's been canceled. But the little ones, like what we're doing this weekend, they're all still going on, and most of it's still business as usual. You can't buy toilet paper or bleach anywhere, but.
I wonder, do you have, Miranda, do you have solutions to when you don't have toilet paper, what you could use as advice to members?
Well, personally, we have a bidet, so I don't know about anyone else.
You are set.
then, I mean, Krista and I talked about how we might take it from work.
Don't say anything.
That was a funny joke.
It was a joke.
Apologize.
My boss did say that we could have some.
Oh, well, that's very nice of them. You're just not telling them you have a bidet, then, I guess.
She didn't share that information either. I'm like, okay,
Right, right.
I'm telling her my deep
Right,
secret.
right.
I'm stealing from work. I also we were at the store yesterday and we did buy, the wipes and my hand sanitizer because I am a germaphobe anyways. So and there was like somebody was just standing there like there's nothing. Like they just didn't want the big pack and there was no single packs left. And my kids kind of like looked and I opened the pack and I just shared. At the end of the day, I was just like, here, take one, clean your space, have a great day. And I think if people are just having that philosophy of, all right, we're in this mode. The news is the news. I won't watch the news. I read other information for that. But if we are just who we are as JCs, and we can talk about toilet paper to really the serious facts, we're all going to get through this, and we're all here for each other, and I think it's great.
Christy and Amy are fighting over their toilet paper now. Yeah, I don't know how many of y'all saw President Pat's video from Illinois, but he actually had some very good suggestions in his video. But he said that, definitely share, don't be a hoarder. And then he had said, take this opportunity because it does affect the elderly a whole lot. So reach out to your elderly neighbor and ask, can I go to the grocery store for you? Is there something I can do? So that was some good tips too, that ways that we can help our friends next door. And so
That's a very good tip. I mean, I was out at Costco today and you get a sense like the tenseness of everybody, and like just seeing, even just when this has really made you think about the demographic of people and who's susceptible, and you kind of just see like the despair in people's eyes. So this is the time to be kind and to smile at people and to just be nice to them and remind them that we're all human beings. We're all going through this together, and we can get through it together.
You're muted, Krista. She forgot she was muted.
I wish I knew sign language.
There she is. Now she's not muted.
I can say stop. That I speak a little. But I said that I just have to stop hugging people. That's one thing, is I'm that kind of person, and it's just thinking is not even for me or even the kids, like your stats said, Miranda, is thinking about, not that my parents are old in any way, but like individuals older than him.
I have a 70-year-old Japanese lady that lives with me, so I do have to be cautious because I don't want to bring it home and get her ill,
Right.
So yeah, but it's kind of nice for me, but I know it doesn't. Y'all don't know this because I am huggy when I'm around y'all because I never get to see you guys, but I'm not normally a huggy person. Like I'm normally this, stand back. So right now this is great for me.
I might be coming out of Mississippi to get some hug. So if the members do have concerns or chapters or states, can they reach out just to talk or figure out what we're doing, or even just to brainstorm ideas?
Oh, of course. I definitely recommend it. That's what we're here for, especially during these times when it gets hard, to be able to call and vent and find out, hey, what could we do? This is what we were going to do. What do you have? What should we do instead? Or what are your suggestions? That's the great part of the network of the JCI USA and of JCI overall, to have that network, because there are other countries that have dealt with stuff like this more often than we have to. And so we're able to lean on them during times like this.
Very true. See, Amy's the same as me. She hugs her JCI people, but not usually people as a whole. Very much like that.
Right.
So while we have you on, and we can step away from the serious matter, Justin, do you want to talk a little bit about Nothing But Nets real quick?
Yeah.
You mentioned it a little bit.
Right. I mean, Nothing But Nets was amazing. This was the third time that I've gone in the history of the program that we've had with them, and it was just so great. We had 50 people registered. I know a few people decided to hold back and stay at home just because of the situation, but I think we had about 42 to 45 members there. And we all, the first morning we got there, and they broke us up along with other champions that are there who believe in this fight to end malaria. We broke up and learned, we kind of brainstormed about fundraising ideas. Then we went to another group and we brainstormed on advocacy. And then we went to another group and we brainstormed on how to write letters to the editor and the kind of conversations and the personal stories that we would share if we were to write those messages to them. Then that night we had everyone of the full like 200 people of the event started showing up, and we did an event and we gave out major awards to the top champions, and the top champions were part of JCI USA members with Ashley Elliott and her partner Jesse, and then I am like forgetting people's names. Oh my gosh. We had another amazing winner from Illinois. Someone might be able to type in and see who it is. Oh gosh, this is killing me because he's an amazing JCI member and he's an amazing advocate for malaria. Yes, Nashwan. Thank you. Yes, Nashwan won one of the top 5 champion awards for this past year in 2019. Yes, Nashwan. Thanks, Alan. And these are just great people that truly get out there and they just care about this issue, and they utilize that experience to bring back advocacy back home and teach their fellow members what to do in their chapters. Then another amazing shout out that I have to give is I'm trying to figure out do you guys hear that sound?
Which one?
I just hear it sounds like we're in a pipe.
No.
Okay.
It's got to be on your end.
It's probably on my end then. Anyways, so National Vice President Joyce, her and her husband Armin bring their group of children and their whole family together, and they come to these Nothing But Net Summit, and their kids learn all this amazing information from the panelist discussions and the brainstorming sessions, and then their kids are the ones, when they go and talk to these offices on the Hill and to these senators and these representatives, the kids are the ones that talk to them. No matter how old they are empowered to say this and say it's important to them. And I can't thank Joyce enough for leading by example and showing how the JCs and the opportunities that we present our members can truly bring a family together, and that you can get out and do family activities and bond and have something that you share in common. I know a lot of families feel like they get really busy because all the kids have all the different sporting events and all these things. And so I would sense that nowadays a lot of families feel disjointed and they don't have the time to come together. But JC's is this amazing opportunity that you can come together and figure out ways for you to bond together, spend quality time together, all while making the biggest impact you could make in the world, which is helping end a global disease. And it is interesting, we're there advocating against malaria in this time period where we in America are handling working through this coronavirus. And so it was very topical at that moment to be in there and have these meetings with everybody. And then, the events end towards later afternoon, around 5 and 6 p.m. at night. And the rest of the time, our members got to go out and spend quality time with one another. A lot of young people that aren't part of JC's, they were at the events. And then our members often were going to them. They were stepping out of their comfort zone and talking about JC's. I had a member in my group that went to the Hill, and she was approached by 5 different JC's. She lives in Detroit. she knows she has to become a member. She knew she had to talk to me and meet me. She owns her own business that she created. She's creating skincare lines that help repel bugs. And it doesn't include DEET, and it doesn't smell, and it's just a nice like moisturizer, but it also protects you against bugs. Like, this is a young individual that had this amazing opportunity to meet JCs, and now she can get plugged into the JCI network in Michigan, the JCI Michigan network. And it was really cute. We were in line at Dunkin' Donuts, and Representative Ilhan from Minnesota was in line behind us, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't recognize her, but this girl is just like freaking out, and she's like, I'm so nerding out. Like, I really want to talk to her. And I just kept saying, well, you should just talk to her. Like, she's right there. And she had a bunch of staff around her too. So it was kind of intimidating. And then finally, she just stepped in there and said hello. And I was like, can we get a picture with you? And so we got to take that pic, and she got to have a little conversation with Ilhan and feel, it just made her life. And it was so cool to see that experience happen. It's cool when government leaders are able to be heroes to young people and to have that experience for them.
So that sounds amazing. I can't wait. I've never gone. I hope to go soon. Miranda hasn't either. I can tell. You're on mute. Remember though. So I'm looking forward to next year. I'm just hoping it doesn't line up to my daughter's musical. That's why I couldn't go this year. So. But now, when you guys were there, what did they mention any precautions to do when you were meeting with people? So you were out in the field, you were doing things,
right?
You were advocating. Was anything mentioned? Did you guys talk about it? Was there any protocol?
It was all still wash your hands, make sure that you're like just being hygienically clean yourself. No, there was no handshaking. It was just the wave or the elbow bump with the individuals there. And it's really up to the offices. And some of the offices had signs of what they wanted, but because in the end, I mean, these offices were some of the most susceptible there, because there's so many people going in and out trying to advocate and talk about their issues and what's important to them for the government to focus on. And luckily, some of us were able to meet some of the representatives before they all, started to kind of spend time at home and self-quarantine, I guess, so that they wouldn't get sick.
I know there was one video that MVP Joyce had shared, and it was her kids on the sofa with, I guess it was her representative. I'm not really sure who it was, but the way that he interacted with her children was just amazing. It just showed a great leader, and I was like, that is going to be an experience that those children never, ever forget.
Right. It's cool because 2 years ago is when or maybe 2 or 3 years ago is when I was there too, and Joyce and them went to Mr. Booker, and he like put them on their shoulders, and they did this fun video. And I mean, that's the kind of leadership we like to see. Someone that's relatable, someone that cares about my family, and regardless of our political beliefs, like it's just good when you see people like that relating to our citizens, their families. And at least that makes it seem like they know something. They understand something about human connection and human life. And then, it looks like President Allen, he talked about, with his representative, Allen's a firefighter, and he's already got his person going to be able to come in to their firehouse. And then I said, well, then you need to like invite all of your chapter members to come to the firehouse during that time that he's coming, and you can make it a JCI event, and then you guys can talk about malaria, and we can get credit for JCI USA, in our grant request. So there's just the opportunities are endless. And all he did, he's talked about what he did, and then he made an ask, and it came up, and now they're going to get to have this fun experience. Wish I had 3 firefighter members attending the conference, and that was really cool. I had all sorts of fun questions to ask firefighters, and what I wondered if they truly did what we think they do.
Do they? Because there's a whole rivalry between police and fire, and we think the police are better.
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, I more asked them about if they go up into trees and get cats out of the trees. He said that he does. His office does.
Do they? Because we actually we don't obviously, but have you ever seen a cat skeleton in a tree?
I haven't, but then they told me there was a dead cat in a tree once.
No, they will come down. They will come down. So, I mean, maybe he's probably in a bigger area. They might actually have the ladder trucks. We don't have those here. So the only way we could do it is to take the water hose and spray them out. And then that usually people are like, no way, because it sounds very mean because it's a lot of water pressure.
Yeah. I also asked if they did take the hose and just make it like it's raining, like when we were kids.
You need to play with one of those hoses because it'll do that on its own.
Oh, right. Oh my gosh.
So a lot of water pressure.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, nothing but Net's event. It's great. I think our members are a bit spoiled with how much interaction we do with our trainings now, because we watch a lot of people talk through the day on Saturday. And so I was like, well, you're empowered to give feedback and let them know the next time, make it a little more interactive. But overall, regardless, they just bring in such talented people. One of my favorites was they had a young speaker who was 18 or 19 years old, and he kind of shared to the young people in the room, and he said, you don't have to wait for a seat at the table. People are making seats at the table. And he mentioned all these amazing young people right now that are stepping up and making their voices heard. And he said, you can sit at their table. They've made a spot for you, but regardless, there's spots there available. And what's cool is our members were so engaging there and talking with all these young people. They made it known that JCI USA offers you a seat at the table. You get to sit at our table. You get to have your opinions. You get to share your ideas and thoughts on how we can make the world a better place and we can make our communities better. And so that tie-in was inspiring to me with that speaker that day.
Now I'm going to read that because now we're going to have to invite President Allen and IPP Crispin just to see how they actually do get the cats out of the tree.
Right. You can have you should have a whole firefighter cop themed live.
We could call it Guns versus Hoses.
Yeah.
See, Allen gets the friendly rivalry. They must have it there in Georgia too, because we love each other. I mean, let's be real though, firefighters are a little bit smarter than cops because they don't get shot at. I mean, they picked the actual right profession.
Right.
They don't get shot at. So.
Well, Alan's laughing, so we know it's all good. So, well, I think it's great that we came on here, and I know I have some people missed in the beginning that we just talked about us JCs and what our nation's going through right now, to where we're laughing, and you're sharing such a great experience with Nothing But Nets, Justin.
Right. Well, overall, I just want people to know that we, in the end, JCs is about family and friends and connection. And so during times like this that we're experiencing in our world, don't feel alone. Know that there are JCs all around the world. We're all experiencing the same experiences right now, having the same questions, same thoughts, same ideas. Call each other and message each other and share your fears and share what you're going through so that it can start a conversation and start to make you feel I'm not alone. Oh, I'm not going through the same things. We can do this. I can get through this. And I think that can help a lot of people get through their anxieties and their questions they have. It's just that that part of communicating it out loud. And it's everything I talk about with empowerment. If we don't communicate out loud what we're thinking or what we're fearing or what we want to go after in life, it's less likely to be answered or to happen. And once we start putting it out there, it helps gives us answers to those burning questions inside that we want to figure out. So again, during this time, just know, like, lean on each other and be there for one another. And also, again, like, be kind, be patient. Know that if we remain calm and just hunker down and heed caution, that we can truly, like, we'll be back to business before you know it.
That's right. Well, I thank y'all for having the time with me tonight. I guess we can wrap the show up. I do have NVP Trey going to be on it next week. I think we're going to be planning out some sort of membership challenge with President Justin next week too. So that ought to be interesting.
Good.
Everybody likes a good little dare and a good little challenge. So
I will do it.
You don't even know what it is yet.
I shouldn't answer now, but that scares me. But it'll be okay.
Yep. So yeah, so definitely catch us next week and reach out to us if you need anything.
Well, thank you for having us, Miranda. I've had a great time.
Thank you all for coming.
Miranda, thank you for creating this opportunity every week for everyone to be able to be on here and let our members hear from the national membership and from just members from around the country who have something to say, and it's important, and I'm excited to hear it from everybody.
We enjoy it. Yeah. So, all right. Thank you, guys.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.